What is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, Go Back Good Guy 231 on Sorare. So happy to be partnering with Alex on NBA on Sorare FP. As you notice, I didn't say Sorare First Pitch. We're gonna play around with the name, but leaving the acronym now that we're really gonna be focusing around hoops. And first off, if you look at the video right before this, Alex did a deep breakdown on all the projections, all the data that we have coming for NBA to really help. Because here's in my opinion, what the coolest part about the Sorare NBA product is that it is super, super strategic and tactical. A lot of in football, you can just roll out, your stacks or roll out your just true studs, and you will be fine and you will win rewards more often than not. In baseball, you could run out stacks. Obviously, on the baseball side of things, we have the projections to really try to help point out here's who's the most likely, who's the median outcomes to get, the top type of lineups and put you into rewards. But in NBA, with the points cap based on the last 10, you're gonna have guys that were absolute masters and absolutely super important for your gallery for weeks, and then they're just gonna fall out. They're gonna be too much on their L10. You're gonna have a role player that's 30 to 35 on their L10, and you can't have a role player that is doing that, and it's gonna have lows. It's gonna dip down to the 20s sometimes. You need to reserve those top spots for your studs. So I'm really looking forward to the season. I'm really looking forward to the content that we're going to have coming out, not only in video, but for subscribers on the Patreon, for Alex just grinding away. Since it came out, all that dude's done for 2.5 days is go through data, go through projections, go through models, and working on optimizers to make this awesome. So make sure you check that out. What I'm here today is to do my top 5 1-2 buys after the first night, the first big night of games. So kind of an overreaction, kind of okay, these guys might be undervalued, a little bit of it all, but I love NBA. I love watching NBA. I love just kind of seeing guys before they break out. So that's kind of what this is going to be about. So quick reminder, subscribe, comment on the video or the pod or wherever you're finding us, and let's get into it. So I'm a Magic fan. I'm in Florida. So I have to overreact to Paolo Banchero. 27-9-5, historic debut. Looked awesome. He ran the offense. He played 35 minutes. He looked like the #1 pick and more. It was just awesome to see just such a big guy move so gracefully. He's just going to be a matchup nightmare, whether he's playing the 3 or the 4. I would be really curious at some point if they could ever shift him to the 5 and play 5-out basketball, but they're not going to, because we just, as a Magic, we just have too many big guys. But all that being said, he's going to be a nightmare. He's going to put up huge numbers all season for the Magic, who really do, the one thing the Magic lack is, a true, facilitator, a true go-to, and it already looks like Paolo as a rookie is that. So, absolutely love Paolo. He's expensive. I understand he's not under the radar, but, it's my video. I get to brag about Paolo. The next guy, Keldon Johnson. I don't think he's going to, if he's under the radar, it's not going to be for much longer. He's now become the alpha in San Antonio. 20-11-4 the first night playing. I took 17 shots. Little thing like Keldon Johnson, he was called up to USA Basketball. Yes, it was by Popovich, but Popovich isn't that guy that, shows a ton of favoritism in the past. So Keldon Johnson can ball. He's super athletic. He can go in and out. He can both play on the interior and, stretch it out to the 3-point line. The only thing is he's a little bit undersized for the 4, which is where San Antonio is going to make him play. So he's going to have nights where on the defensive end of things, he's just going to get bullied by a Julius Randle, by a Davis, by a Sabonis, whoever you could kind of, your bigger 4s in the league. But he's also going to provide them a bit of a nightmare on the offensive side because he's so athletic, because he's so shifty. I just like him to just put up big numbers all season. I also like San Antonio to be bad. So, maybe I'll like Keldon Johnson a lot more in the first half of the season, but hopefully we can get him while the L5 isn't, or the L10 isn't too big, because I think most of the season is going to be over 40. Next player that I really didn't know too much about, did more looking, and every time he gets an opportunity, Santi Aldana from the Grizzlies just absolutely matches. He did this at the end of last season too. He's filling in for injured Jaren Jackson Jr., who's going to be out for about 2 months. I found it really interesting that they just paid Brandon Clark a ton of money, and it was Santi Aldama that was playing crunch time, that got the start, that took 14 shots, only shot 1 of 8 for 3, but still put up 18 and 11 versus the Knicks. I really like the look of that. He was the 30th pick in the draft last year. You know, these type of performances are going to earn him a consistent role, even when Jaren Jackson Jr. comes back. But right now, we can capitalize on the opportunity. Next is Ayo Dosunmu. He's going to have a long opportunity too, because Lonzo Ball just cannot stay healthy. Dosunmu versus the Heat, a really tough matchup versus Lowry, buckets, all of those guys. In Miami, dropped 17, 6, and 4 in 36 minutes. He's definitely going to be right now is on the cheap side, but if he keeps putting up these productions, he's going to be well known. Super confident guy. Again, place point for the Bulls. So really like Ayo. And finally, it would not be one of my little previews if I did not bring up the pure sex that is Colin Sexton. I don't know if you've seen the highlight, but the dude literally is like just isolating Jokic, pretty much showboating, telling him I'm going to drive into you, then drives into him, finishes with the left. Only played 20 minutes, scored 25 and 2. The only downfall, or the only hole I can poke in Colin Sexton, is if he's only going to see 20 minutes a game. I probably don't want him for long, but he is going to take a ton of shots. He is probably the most confident player in the NBA. You know, Hoop and I love to joke about the irrational confidence guys and the fact that Utah has like 2 of the most irrational confidence guys going, Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, and they have to somehow share one ball. But Sexton didn't get the start and got all the usage off the bench. That's a good spot to be in. I'd really like to watch like one more game, see if he can stretch into that like 24, 25 minute rule. You know, take 17, 18 shots in that time, command all the usage. I think he's gonna be a hell of a play. So anyhow, those are my 5 guys. There are tons more. You know, just throwing off a couple names. Like I love Tyrese Halliburton this season. You know, that's gonna be a little bit more on the expensive side. But that role is amazing. You know, we saw SGA pop off last night. Just so many good players, so many opportunities. Build your gallery up. If you're needing some help, you need to look at projections, make sure you check out. I saw Alex posted all of our projections are free this weekend. So make sure you check that out. See if that's something that you think will help your game. We'd love for you to be part of the Sorare FP community. All right, enjoy the games tonight. And with that, I'll say, see you.